Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you tonight about safe, smart driving habits that will significantly reduce your chances of being involved in a crash and being involved in any kind of incident along the roadway that might harm you or the driving public. Stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Welcome back. A few people are here. Evan is here, David is here, Mallory is here, and Mona is here. And happy Thanksgiving weekend to those who are celebrating the holiday this weekend. And next week is kind of back to normal because Thanksgiving was on Thursday. And then, of course, Friday is Black Friday and all the sales that are overwhelming you and jamming up your inbox. So lots going on. Matthew is here from Quesnel. And Corey is here. Corey is the moderator, Bricks for Wheels, and Corey does an awesome job of getting up the videos that I suggest you have a look at for more details on answers that I give you to questions you ask me about getting your license and those types of things. One of the other pieces that I want to emphasize, don't postpone getting your license until next spring when the snow disappears, because it's easier to get your driver's license in the winter time than it is in the summertime. And the reason I say that is it's not as exact in the winter time. In other words, when you're parking, parallel parking, for example, you only have to get close to the snowbank. You just have to park in behind the vehicle in front of you. You're not going to actually get into the snowbank or 8 to 12 inches from the curb, because driving examiners will not push the car out of the snow. If you get it stuck in the snow, they're just going to walk back to the DMV, and unfortunately you're not going to pass your driver's test. So you need to stay out of the snowbank as well. You don't have to stop at the correct stopping position at stop sign intersections or other controlled intersections. You simply just have to come up and stop before the sidewalk, before the crosswalk line. Or sorry, you just have to come up and stop before the crosswalk, because obviously there's snowbanks, and you just have to give way to any pedestrians that might be there at the intersection, and then creep out as you would, and check and look for the right of way, and then proceed. Okay? Jim Bob. Yes, Canada does celebrate Thanksgiving, but we celebrate Thanksgiving in October. I'm not sure which weekend. I think it's the second weekend in October is when we celebrate Thanksgiving here. Adeline, I am so glad you came on. Geez, I recently took my test and failed. We can answer any questions you have, Adeline, and help you out with that. And my friend Blessed is here. Hello, Blessed. Hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving. Hope your Thanksgiving. Adeline, what was the feedback that the driving examiner gave you for not being successful on your driver's test? AB is here. Rocky, hello, my friend from Windsor. Xander, Sheldon is here as well. Pin from Calgary. Hello, hello, hello. Kim is here. Hello. And Jacob, lots of people here. So if it gets busy and I don't get to your question, ask your question again, because there's lots going on in the live stream and it's busy. And of course, there's always super chat. You can always make a contribution to the channel. That's always awesome. Your comment gets pinned at the top there in a color, and we'll definitely get to your question. First time driving in the snow for Jacob there. Adeline, how often does the show come on? Adeline, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Of course, you can leave comments at the videos. I do my best to answer the comments, or send me an email, rick@smartdrivetest.com. Okay, nice video. Enjoyed my Thanksgiving. Christians, amazing videos. Awesome. Avia, I've been watching your videos and find them very helpful. I have my G2 test tomorrow in Mississauga. Good luck on that. You're going to do awesome. Remember to breathe, and that will force your body to relax for the test. Okay, John is here. How to make a right turn on a red light, or turning in a red light. Okay, so John, Corey will put the video up for you on turning on a red light. The only places that I'm aware of that you can't turn right on a red light are New York City, the 5 boroughs, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Manhattan. So those are the 5 boroughs you can't turn right on a red light. Corey also put the video up for you on me taking a driving test with Big Mac Sam. Check that out. Also, tips and strategies to pass your driver's test in the city of New York, which I put up this week. I'll talk to you about that as well. And the island of Montreal in the province of Quebec is the other place that you can't turn right on a red light. So those are your rights on a red light. I have been asked about turning right on a red light. You can wait for the green. However, if it's a clear intersection and you're sitting there at the red light and there's no other traffic and you can make the right on the red, driving examiners will give you demerits for that, or they may outright fail you because you didn't go. You're holding up traffic behind you. You can go if there isn't any other traffic. But if it's really busy and there's a lot of activity at the intersection, then you're justified in waiting for the green to turn right on a red light. Okay, and Corey's put those videos up for you. Thank you for that, Corey. Okay, let's get over to the presentation. So how I do the presentation, I'll go through the presentation for about 10 minutes here, take about that, and then I'll come back and we'll devote the remainder of the hour to answering any questions you have about passing your driver's test, any other questions you have about being a safer, smarter driver and whatnot. Just before I get started here, pass your driver's test first time, guaranteed over at the Smart Drive Test website. The defensive and winter driving smart courses are included as a bonus. It's about $37 US. Right now, you use the coupon SMART30, you can get 30% off that over at the Smart Drive Test website. Of course, it's been the kind of Black Friday sale this week, so that's there as well. And yeah, so definitely check that out. And any other courses that you might be interested in, we can help you out with those too. All right, so here we go. So driving habits, must-have driving habits. One of the must-have driving habits, as you can see here from the title slide of the presentation, is left turns. Shoulder check on left turns. If driving instructors or other people are telling you that you don't have to shoulder check on a left turn, that is misinformation. It's completely incorrect because there could be pedestrians, there could be people on scooters, bicycles, other vulnerable road users in your blind area around your vehicle. So check, shoulder check. This is one of the skills that you don't want to lose throughout your driving career, because usually, unfortunately, what happens is that students get their license, they're like, oh yeah, I don't have to shoulder check anymore. They stop doing it, and then one day they go to merge out onto a highway or they merge onto a roadway, and all of a sudden there's a near miss with another vehicle because they failed to check their blind area around their vehicle before merging out. And of course, you have to take evasive action, and it's like, oh my God, they have a bit of a heart attack because, they almost died in a car crash. And then they begin to resume shoulder checking again. So this is, if you can keep this up, keep it up, because it's one of the smart habits that's going to keep you safe after you get your driver's license. For those of you who are new to Smart Drive Test, my name is Rick August. I was a truck driver during the 1990s, hauling freight between Canada and the United States. While I was going to university in Australia, I drove for Greyhound, one of the regional bus lines there, became a licensed commercial driving instructor in 1997. 2006, I graduated with my doctorate in legal history from the University of Melbourne in Australia. And in 2015, I started the YouTube channel and the online business, and the whole thing has been wildly more successful than I ever could have imagined. So, new video this week. Corey's already put this up. Tips and strategies to pass your driving test in New York City and other big cities. And know that I failed this driving test because I tried to turn right on a red light, which you can't do, as I already mentioned, in New York City in the 5 boroughs there. So, SPOC 3, this is the defensive driving model that I came up with. Social driving, speed management, space management, observation, and communication. And space management is the most important skill in this set of skills here. And if you can manage space well around your vehicle, if you can maintain a 3 to 4 second following distance, and you can stop in a line of traffic so that you can see the tires of the vehicle in front of you making clear contact with the pavement, those skills will keep you safe beyond any known measure because it allows you to do so many other things, because space buys you time, time buys you options, and these options allow you to observe and figure out what's going on with other traffic. All right, so space management. This is the living room around your vehicle. And if you saw the video on the short that I put up here 2 days ago, yesterday actually, about it, the big truck that bulldozed out onto the highway, didn't even give way to the traffic on the highway and just turned out onto the highway you'll see that you need to have space around your vehicle so other vehicles can move into that space and you have room to work. And this was what allowed the vehicle in front of me and myself as well to move around the vehicle without incident. And I'll talk a little bit more about that after the presentation. So drive between the clusters of vehicles because, as you know, for those of you who have experience out on the highways, that cars will drive in clusters. They'll drive together, and you don't want to be in those clusters. You want to drive in the spaces between those clusters. Okay? If you don't get near other vehicles, near fixed objects, it's less likely that you're going to crash into something. So stay away. Manage space well. Communicate effectively with other traffic. The 5 ways that you communicate with other traffic: lights and signals, turn signals, of course, your daylight running lights, other signals. Horn, use your horn sparingly in this day and age because it's seen as a sign of aggression. Eye contact, if you're not sure what another driver is doing, get eye contact with them. Hand gestures, make sure you use all 5 fingers. Don't tell another driver or another road user on the road that he or she is number 1. And then finally, the position of the vehicle or the position of the road user on or in relationship to the roadway is going to give you some indication of what they're going to do. For example, if there's a pedestrian near the crosswalk, there's a good chance that the pedestrian is going to cross the road. So be proactive, communicate effectively, and change your attitude. I have lots of drivers that come back and it's like, oh, these drivers are they're all just cut you off and they just speed all the time and they do this and they do that. You're focusing on the 20% of the traffic that's, maybe not even the 20%, the 10% of traffic and drivers that are doing something wrong. Most of the people, most of the time, are doing the right thing. So, observation and tracking, looking far down the road. And if you manage space around your vehicle well, this allows you to observe and track other road users. And that's exactly what happened with the truck. I saw the truck down the highway. The truck is turning out onto the roadway. I'm like, what are you doing? Didn't even give way to other traffic. So by managing space well around my vehicle, I was able to observe and track what other vehicles were doing on the roadway. Where are they in relation to you? And are they going to intersect your path of travel? And as soon as the truck pulled out onto the roadway, the car that was in the right-hand lane had to move out to the left-hand lane to get around the truck. And I knew that this truck turning out onto the road was going to impact me as well, even though I was on a multi-lane road and I was out in the far left lane. So track the vehicles. Are they going to intersect with your path of travel? And can you do something proactive that's going to keep you safe and reduce your chances of being involved in a crash? Predict traffic patterns. This is what space does as well. You can look far down the road, figure out what other vehicles are doing, what's going to happen with turning lanes, looking for rubberneckers and anything out of the ordinary. You're looking for things that are unpredictable because it is unpredictable actions that cause crashes on the roadway. The truck pulling out, not giving way to traffic on the highway at an intersection is something completely and utterly unpredictable. The short that I put up this morning with the pedestrian dressed in dark clothing jaywalking across the street at mid-block and stepping out in front of the vehicle. That is an unpredictable action. These are the things that lead to traffic crashes. And if you can know the characteristics of vehicles and other road users as well, that's going to help you out. We're coming into winter here. There's going to be snow. There's going to be snowmobiles out on the roadways and people pulling sleds and those types of things. And sometimes in smaller towns when they get a lot of snow, pedestrians are forced to walk out on the roadway because the sidewalks are completely plugged up with snow and you can't walk on them. It's really hard to do that. So you'll have to watch out for all of those kinds of things with seasonal changes. The other thing with predicting traffic patterns, it allows you to interpret the individual actions of road users. For example, as I said previously, the pedestrians near crosswalks are going to be crossing the road. Are there pedestrians at crosswalks or at intersections as you're sitting there and waiting to go through move through the intersection? Are they going to be crossing the roadway? For example, there's pedestrians on the other side of the roadway. You're moving to turn left. They're going to intersect with your path of travel as you're moving left through the intersection, so you're going to have to wait for them. Pay attention to your driving and have patience in what's going on in the driving environment. One of the studies that I did here, I did a poll on the channel some time ago with talking about why young people and new drivers, not young people because not all new drivers are young, but talking about why new drivers tend to be more prone to having accidents. And everybody says that it's kind of overall driving experience. And I tend to agree with this because of the reason I agree with this is because driving is dynamic. It's always changing, and you could take the same combination of vehicles on a different roadway in a different date, a different time, and everything is going to be different. And because it's different, you're going to have different hazards, and this can only be learned through experience. So it's time and space in driving to become much more successful and reduce your chances of being involved in a crash. So develop habits that'll protect you, and it's not habits that are going to protect you maybe tomorrow or next week or next year. It might be a habit that you develop that will keep you safe in 5 years. As well, for new drivers, especially those in kind of the 18 to 25 range, you're dealing with all of these new things at the same time. Drinking, driving, dating, and distracted driving. Our phones are incredibly distracting, as well as, you know, all of the telematics in cars now that we have. Drinking is new, and then of course driving is new, and of course, unfortunately, we've pushed the driving age forward because of all of the bureaucracy of getting a license now. Most people are getting their license closer to when they're at the legal age to be able to drinking as well. So all of this ties into that. And then the ability to communicate and observe effectively when you're driving, looking farther down the road and managing that space. All right, so good luck on your driver's test, and remember, pick the best answer. Not necessarily the right answer. And transition back over there. Awesome. Goat Mountain, are you back in BC? Yes, back in BC. Been back for a few weeks now. Ignatius, awesome. David, is there a sign that says no left turn? You cannot turn. If there's a sign prohibiting turning at an intersection, it will be up near the traffic lights. And have a look at that. Adeline, afterwards I saw the report. Okay, Adeline, I did everything. I even practiced around the site. I really don't know what to do anymore. Okay, Adeline, did you take a lesson with a driving instructor? Because if you haven't done that, I would counsel you to take a practice driving test with a local driving instructor. He or she will really be able to help you out in terms of picking out or pointing out all of the details that you need to have in place, as well as give you feedback on your driving abilities and skills and tell you which ones that you need to strengthen to be able to pass your driver's test. AB, don't get in the habit of driving beside other vehicles, and that is an excellent tip. Always drive in the spaces between other vehicles, especially on a multi-lane road. Don't track another vehicle beside it, because now you don't have an escape route. You want to either pull in behind them or move in front of them so that you can have space to maneuver in the event that something goes wrong. Fernie, this channel for a certain state or set of driving rules. Fernie, where are you? What state are you in that we can help you out? Okay, any other YouTube channels similar to yours? Yeah, you're going to find them. They're not hard to find. Okay. Parallel parking and U-turns. One time the examiner said I was driving too slow. Another time he said I was driving too fast. Adeline, so it sounds like you were having trouble with your speed management. And yes, your speed management for the purposes of your driver's test has to be kind of spot on. Have a look at the video on practice driving. On the mock driver's test, and Corey will put that video up for you. You can have a look at that. That will really help you out. Danny, I want to take my road test as soon as possible, but I'm scared I might get caught up with heavy snow right on the ongoing test. I think there is a wide difference in contrast to ordinary season. Danny, it's actually easier to pass your driver's test in the wintertime, and if there is heavy snow, they will postpone your driver's test. They won't take you out if it's snowing heavily. So I encourage you strongly to take your driving test as soon as you can get an appointment, because it's easier in the wintertime. As I was saying earlier, you don't have to park 8 to 12 inches from the curb when you parallel park. You just have to get in next to the snowbank. You just have to park in behind the vehicle in front of you. When you stop at intersections, you don't have to stop at the correct stopping position, the stop line or the crosswalk line. You just have to stop behind the sidewalk, give way to any road users that might be there, pedestrians or whatnot, and then you just creep out until you can see, and then you proceed when the way is cleared. So it's a lot easier in the wintertime as well. Driving examiners are relaxed in the wintertime because they're not as busy. There's not as many students in the wintertime. And because they're more relaxed, they're more likely to kind of cut you a bit of slack, right? And if you watch the video that Corey put up there for us, that tips and strategies for passing your driver's test in New York, both Sam and I, who are both driving instructors, Sam in New York and me here in British Columbia, we said that sometimes you're going to make a mistake. The driving examiner isn't even going to notice it. So when you're doing your driver's test, keep going until the driving examiner tells you to stop. Only do you stop when the driving examiner tells you to stop, because those errors might be minor and they're not going to affect the outcome of your driver's test. Remember, people, we're not going for perfection. We're going for a pass. You want to get your driver's license, and then you can practice perfection. We're never going to be perfect drivers. I'm not a perfect driver. I make mistakes. And the other piece about the that driver's test that I took with Sam, the mock driving test in New York City, the reason I put it up there that I had failed was because I want to impress upon you that you have to practice in and around the test center where you're going to be taking your test. Because if you get dropped in cold with no practice, you're not going to pass your driving test. Okay, you have to know the specific criteria that you're expected to do for the test center where you're going to be taking your test. My friend Mallory was watching one of your videos today and was wondering why driving too slowly is just as bad as speeding. The reason, Mallory, going too slow is just as bad as going too fast is because when you're going too slow, you're causing congestion, especially on a 2-lane road where there's traffic in opposing directions and the traffic starts piling up behind you, because now I'm frustrated because I'm sitting behind a car that's going too slow, and now I'm going to try and pass, or I'm going to try and get out around that vehicle, and it's going to create a dangerous situation. So going too slow is just as bad as going too fast, believe me, you. Adeline, this is a good show. I wish I can connect all the time. That's awesome that we can help you out, Adeline. Glad that we can be of service. Trevor's here. Just want to thank you. I passed my G2 road test. Trevor, congratulations. That is absolutely awesome news that you passed your G2. Lots of people getting their driver's license in the province of Ontario right now. They've added lots of extra appointments and put on extra examiners and whatnot. So kudos to Ontario for really trying to work hard and make the requirements to kind of take care of that backlog of driving tests in the province of Ontario there. So really good work on the part of the MTO. And congratulations to all those people who have passed the driver's test in Ontario. Mountain biker, doing my test in Vernon, going to have to wing it. Haven't driven much since I moved up here. Next month is my test, but I'm going to drive here next week, get some practice. Okay, awesome. And mountain biker, again, Corey's put the video up for you to pass your driver's test first time. Have a look at that, and you'll see the video for driving here in the city of Vernon. That's what I was trying to say. Rocky, stop line. If I don't look both ways before proceeding like other drivers, could I get hurt by accident easily? Thanks. Rocky, I'm hoping that you're going to look both ways, because yes, you could get, you could either drive into a pedestrian, you could run into another car on the road, or those types of things. So whenever you move through an intersection, you got to look left and right, and maybe even check behind you to make sure that the vehicle behind you isn't going to park in your trunk, and you don't want to get rear-ended. So yes, you're always going to, even if you're going straight through an intersection, left, center, right, and then left again, because if you get T-boned at an intersection or somebody runs the stop sign, it's going to be on the left side, because we drive on the right, so they're going to come from this direction. So yes, lots of scanning at intersections and those types of things when you're moving through, because remember, intersections are where 40% of crashes happen, so you want to scan well at intersections. YouTube channel with no name. Thank you for that compliment. I'm so happy we can help you out. Ignatius, I understand that. Awesome. AB and put the extra questions on the test. Okay. Jerry Springer. I was actually thinking of Jerry Springer the other day. That's pretty funny that that's your username. I passed my road test here in New York, and it's pretty easy. That's awesome. Jerry, where were you in New York that you passed your driver's test? Joshua, I would like to ask, is parallel parking the same with the maneuverability test in Ohio? Okay, Joshua, you don't have parallel parking in Ohio. You just have the maneuverability test. So there's only 3 states in the U.S., California, Ohio, and Maryland, that don't have parallel parking. So if you practice for the maneuverability test in the state of Ohio, no, parallel parking is not a requirement. But if you can get through the maneuverability test and do it well, then parallel parking is super easy. Okay, so know that for taking your driver's test there in the state of Ohio. Maury, does getting a ticket destroy your trucking career? Maury, no, it doesn't. What I would say though, Maury, is look into paralegals. I know that they have them in some of the states. I know that they have them in the province of Ontario here in Canada, not so much here in British Columbia. But it depends, again, what kind of ticket you get, right? If it's just a speeding ticket and it's got some points attached to it, you might be able to hire a lawyer to go to court for you and get you off the points. Then it's just a matter of you paying the fine, and it's not going to show up on your abstract. So again, it depends what kind of a ticket it is, right? For example, I got a speed camera ticket in the summertime when I was driving across Canada to Ontario to visit my folks in the province of Saskatchewan, and it was like a $180 ticket because I was doing 110 and an 80, I think. Was it doing 110? I can't even remember now. But basically, because it was a speed camera ticket, they can't identify the driver. The speeding ticket goes to the vehicle. If I paid the $180, it doesn't affect anything. So that's, it depends on what kind of a ticket you get. YouTube with no channel, how long have you been running your brand? I have been running my brand now for just about 6 years. I started the YouTube channel in 2015, so about 6 years, the website, and now we have a new experiment that we're working on. For those of you who haven't been here on the live streams yet, we're doing a YouTube short. Shorts are shorts are vertical videos that are less than a minute, and I'm doing one every day for a year. So I'm doing an experiment here, and despite me saying some months back that TikTok wasn't going to be around for more than 3 years, I have an account at TikTok. I'm putting the videos up there as well here on YouTube, and I'm putting them up on Facebook. And I'm also looking at getting somebody to put them up on Instagram Reels. So that's the other experiment that we're now doing with YouTube Shorts. And Corey can probably put the link up for us on the playlist for the shorts. And I'm trying to give you like really good information, defensive driving strategies and techniques, quick tips and whatnot for defensive driving, being a safer, smarter driver and whatnot. So that's what I'm working on. Rocky, I always look both ways anyway around the world. Anyway, thanks to the answer and off to bed. See you next time. All the best, Rocky. Have a great night. Have a great sleep, my friend. And Corey's put up the video on how to parallel park. He's also put up the Ohio maneuverability test. So thanks for that, Corey. Mallory, don't turn left onto the street when somebody is in the crosswalk of the street that you're turning on. Mallory, you just hit the nail on the head in terms of my pet peeve. When I am crossing the street or I'm in a crosswalk and somebody's turning left and they charge me, they drive right up to me on a left turn, you will incur my wrath. That is my number one pet peeve. That just makes me more angry than anything else. And I see other people, I see drivers doing it to other people. Oh, that just really gets me because it's so dangerous. If you're making a left-hand turn and there are pedestrians over there on the left who are crossing the street, they have the right of way, and you need to wait in the center of the intersection for them to clear before you can make your turn. If you do that on the driver's test, that's an automatic fail, as it should be, because there's no way that you should be charging pedestrians. You shouldn't be more than 3 feet away from them. It's the same thing with cyclists. Minimum 3 feet between your vehicle and any other vulnerable road users on the roadway. AB, fight for the ticket. Yes, don't just give it up. Don't have it, because it's going to cost you a lot more money than you think, because if your license goes on your driver's abstract, it's going to cost you money on your insurance because they're going to raise your insurance. Mountain biker, sorry, what's the video called that you did in Vernon shows you how to pass your driver's test? Where did it go? It's Corey put it up here at the top. Tips and techniques, tricks to pass your driver's test first time. Have a look at that one. Okay. Turtle, I made a mistake on my driving test. I turned right on a green light, but a fire truck came on the other side. I made a mistake. Okay, so Turtle, because you had was it a fire truck with lights and sirens active, that it was an emergency vehicle and you didn't stop for the emergency vehicle? Is that what happened? Brandon, what are use of your side mirrors when driving in a forward motion? I check my rearview mirror when I'm scanning, but I have a hard time remembering to check my side mirrors as I don't know how they help. Brandon, they help because they have a different, you remember, your center mirror just goes out the back window, what's directly behind you. If there's vehicles, for example, if you're on a multi-lane road, so you're in the right lane and there's a vehicle in the left lane, you're going to look in your wing mirror for those vehicles in that lane in the event that you need to change lanes. So you need to check your wing mirrors as well. The other side, if say you're in the right-hand lane and you're over and there's cyclists or whatnot here, you're going to check that mirror to look for obstacles along the side of your vehicles. Okay, so that's why you're checking your wing mirrors. It gives you a different perspective into the blind areas around your vehicle. Okay, so Turtle, unfortunately, you failed your driver's test because you turned right and there was an emergency vehicle. You made a mistake, and that's unfortunate that you failed your driver's test. But know for next time, that if it happens, you're going to stop. You're going to pass your driver's test. You'll get it next time for sure. It's a real bummer. And Corey will put the video up for you on you failed your driver's test. Now what? And I'll kind of give you some tips and strategies and kind of a plan to get yourself back on track and make sure that you pass your driver's test next time. David, December 3rd, driving test. School's back. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and sometimes, Turtle, that happens. It just comes really fast and you don't get it. You're not the first person, unfortunately. That's really the fly in the ointment of your driver's test. Dylan, same here, Brandon. If you have to turn around and shoulder check, how important are side view mirrors? Side view mirrors are very important, so make sure that you're checking your wing mirrors because shoulder checking only looks into this blind area like directly here. It doesn't look into the area back over there, and that's where your wing mirrors are looking. So you've got this center mirror which is looking straight out the back of the vehicle, and then your two wing mirrors are looking out on an angle on both sides of your vehicles. So make sure you're checking your wing mirrors as well, and especially on a driver's test. If you're not checking your wing mirrors, you're not going to pass your driver's test. It's going to keep you safe because observation is one of the cornerstone skills that you need to be able to drive safely. And if you're not checking your mirrors, somebody's going to sneak up on you, somebody's going to get in your blind area, those types of things, and then you could risk an incident where you sideswipe somebody or something like that, and you just don't want those kinds of fender benders and whatnot. So focus on observation. I know that there's a lot going on when you're learning. You're trying to figure out how to control the vehicle. You're trying to figure out all the road rules, right of way, observation, communication, when you have to communicate and those types of things. There's a lot going on and it's overwhelming. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But so is any new skill. Same thing, and here's a story for you. 2008, I moved to the province of British Columbia. I've been teaching at the universities. That job was beginning to wane. I knew I was going to go back into teaching truck driving. And so I needed to get my driving instructor's license back here in the province of British Columbia. I didn't just, even though I had been a driving instructor in the province of Ontario, I had been a driving instructor in Australia, I still studied a lot for the specific tests that I was going to have to take here, because there was a whole battery of tests that I had to take to get my driving instructor's license back. And I studied all of the road rules here, so I knew what the road rules are, because apparently, there's nuances and details between different states. There's nuances and details between different provinces. So I did a lot of studying. And this was still the early days of kind of online practice tests and those types of things. But I was successful because I had spent a lot of time doing practice tests. I had spent a lot of time reading the handbook. reading legislation and whatnot. So I was successful first time around, but I didn't just rest on my laurels of the fact that I was already a driving instructor in 2 other places. I did a lot of study and a lot of practice. So for people getting their driver's license, yes, it kind of looks easy when you see other people do it, but when you get in and start doing it, there's a lot of work to do. Okay, and you got to practice all of those types of things. And observation is one of the key skills for being successful on passing your driver's test. Mallory, keep learning and trying again until you do get your license. Yes, absolutely. I failed my driver's test. Now what? Thanks for putting that up, Corey. That's awesome. And David, you said you have a driver's test on the 3rd of December. Awesome. Joshua, I would like to ask, is parallel parking the same with the maneuverability test in Ohio? Okay, Joshua, we already answered that question. You'll just have to go back in the comments there, rewind the video a little bit. No, you don't have to parallel park. Oh, you're asking. No, parallel parking and the maneuverability test in the state of Ohio are different. Go back through the comments there. Corey's put up the video for you on how to do the maneuverability test in the state of Ohio. So have a look at that. My friend Epic, changing lanes inside a traffic jam is another unsafe maneuver. Look out for increasingly common urban areas in the United States and Canada, especially rush hour in New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles, and other big cities in the United States. Yes, you have to be careful changing lanes, and you might have to be a bit forward and a bit aggressive when you're changing lanes in traffic congestion. And this is one of the other questions I get from new drivers who are trying to merge out onto a highway or a freeway. If other drivers aren't going to let you in, you need to turn your signal on, keep your signal on, and then crowd that left side of your lane so that other drivers know that you want to move in. Eventually, somebody's going to create a space for you to move into, because if you're crowding the left side of your lane, not out of your lane, but crowding the left side, and you have your signal on, and your signal's flashing and flashing and flashing and flashing, eventually they think you're just going to move over. So they're going to create a space for you. They are going to help you out. 75% of people are going to help you out. If they can, they will. Okay? So know that. Freak, you are allowed to adjust your mirrors down when parallel parking and backing around corners where I live. Freak, who told you that? Was that a driving instructor? Because that's not correct information. Driving examiners will not wait for you to adjust your mirrors to back up. They won't. They're impatient. They have a short amount of time to do a certain number of tests in a day. And if you're going to waste 30 seconds or a minute of your time adjusting your mirrors, and they have 10 or 15 tests in a day, now you've just taken up 10 or 15 minutes of their time, and they're not going to get their lunch break or their coffee break. So no, that's misinformation if a driving instructor told you that. AB, is there a refresher course for CDL drivers in Southern Ontario to check for bad habits you might have picked up over the years? AB, there's not a refresher course. You could go to a driving school and say, listen, I want to go out for a practice driving test. Or not a practice driving test, but I want to go out with a driving instructor and just kind of brush up on some of my skills. You could do that as well. Parrot, how to overcome driving fear. Corey will put up the video for you on 8 tips to overcome fear and anxiety when driving. And yes, it's real. There's a lot of people who have fear around driving. Some of the things that you can do is to work with somebody else that you trust that can mentor you while you're driving as well. Start driving in the morning or later in the evening when there isn't as much traffic around. Start out in a parking lot with slow speed maneuvers. If you even have more crippling fear than that, you might just need to sit in the vehicle and go over the controls and whatnot while you're working on imagining driving the vehicle and whatnot. And remember the mantra kind of, I can do this. I'm a good driver. Have that going in your head as well, because we all have that negative voices in our head that's going to lead to the fear and the anxiety around driving. So, and if you have really bad fear, you might have to work with a professional. You might have to work with a psychologist or a psychiatrist work with a driving instructor. If you want to work with a driving instructor, work with one that works with seniors. They tend to be much more accommodating for people who have fear and anxiety around driving. Blessed, when I'm at the stoplight and it's red, when can I turn right? I get confused on this, and the next thing, the car in the back of me is honking their horn. Okay, so Blessed, stop at the correct stopping position before the stop line or crosswalk, before the sidewalk, because you already have your license. Come to a complete stop, give way to pedestrians if there's any there at the intersection, and then creep forward, find a gap in the traffic, and then you can proceed to turn right, so long as there isn't an advanced green and the left turning traffic is coming through from the other side of the intersection. Evan, to make the car move more efficiently, you shall do either the 2-stage stop or 3-stage stop unless there's a stop sign. I'm not familiar with the 2-stage or 3-stage. What is that, Evan? Is that when you come to a stop at the correct stopping position and then move forward to find a gap and proceed when the way is clear? Is that what you're talking about? Turtle, I drove the speed limit, but the person behind me gets angry and decides to change lanes and speed like a racer. Turtle, if you're preparing for a driver's test and you have to drive the posted speed limit, that's just a matter of course. Unfortunately, when you're driving the speed limit, you're the slowest vehicle on the road because other traffic is doing the traffic flow, which always 5 to 10 miles an hour faster than the posted speed limit. So no, that's not your deal. You got to focus on what you're doing when you're driving, and you have to focus on what you're doing so that you can pass your driver's test, and that means driving the posted speed limit. Fred, can you take a smart car to a driving test? Fred, that won't make you any smarter on your driver's test. Ba-dum-bum. Sorry. You can take a smart car to your driving test. There's no reason why you can't. It's licensed, it's insured, you can take a smart car. I don't think it's really going to help you out because I personally think they're like go-karts, but yeah, you can. There's nothing preventing you from taking a smart car to a driving test. Warrior Woman, good to use concave mirrors. Yes, you can use concave mirrors on your vehicle. You can buy the sticky ones that you can put on the mirrors and whatnot. But that does not, you still have to shoulder check, okay? They're not going to take the place of you shoulder checking. You still have to shoulder check. Joshua, I'd like to okay, we already answered that question. Is there, okay, refresher course. All right, I think we're caught up. Oh, no. You are allowed to adjust your mirrors. No, you're not. Okay, Joshua, I passed maneuverability, but I failed the driver's test. I'd like to ask, is parallel parking... Okay, Joshua, you keep asking me the same question. I keep answering it. Have a look at the practice driving test here. That will help you out to pass your on-road driver's test. Ignatius, off topic, freight trains, speed limit is less than passenger trains. Yes, as a rule, that's very off topic. I don't really know. We don't run trains. We do on-road stuff here. That's what we do. All right. I just want to talk about, I was going to do a presentation tonight on driving examiners because I had a comment from a smart driver and they said that the reason they failed their first driving test was because the driving examiner made them feel uncomfortable. One of the techniques that I would give to you as a new driver, don't work with the same mentor all the time. You know, if you go and visit a friend or somebody else, get their dad or their mom to go out with you in the car so that you are completely uncomfortable with the person who's in the car with you. Because it's not the driving examiner's job to make you feel comfortable when you get in the car. You know, unfortunately, life is unfair, and probably for most of us that's a good thing. It is not the driving examiner's job, any stretch of the imagination, to make you feel comfortable. And if you think that you failed the driver's test because the driving examiner made you feel uncomfortable, I'm sorry. That's just the reality of life. And so if you can get the driving experience with different people in the car with you, then you can get over that awkwardness and whatnot. The other piece of this is that it's like driving. If you can't handle some old gnarly, aggravated, ticked off driving examiner, how the heck are you going to deal with traffic? Because traffic will annoy you, aggravate you, cause you to swear, pound on the dash and do all kinds of things. Because sometimes when other road users do stuff, it'll just make you shake your head. I mean, look at the video this morning about the death-defying pedestrian, the short that I put up. And, I actually swore in the video because he's like walking across the road. He steps right, he didn't step in front of me, but he's like standing there in the center of the road on a multi-lane road mid-block. And I'm just like, I dropped the F-bomb. So if you can't handle some crusty old driving examiner in your car and you can't focus on what you need to do to pass your driver's test and take away his or her right to fail you, then unfortunately, my saying to that is that you probably shouldn't be driving, because there are drivers and other road users are going to do things that are way more annoying than any driving examiner ever will. So be prepared. And one of the skills, the other important skills in combination with space management, speed management, observation, and communication that you need to hone and develop as a new driver getting on the roadway is you need to be able to hone this skill of focusing on what you're doing, because there's a lot of social pressure. Social driving is about pressure from other drivers of hurry up and go because you're in my way and me first, and they're going to honk and they're going to give you the finger and they're going to yell at you and tell you all kinds of things. So focus on what you're doing. And when that crusty old driving examiner gets in the vehicle and you go out for your driver's test, you got to focus on what you're doing. You got to go into your zone. I'm driving the car. I'm obeying the road rules. I'm a safe driver. I'm doing what I need to do to take away his or her right to fail me. I'm going to pass this driver's test. That is one of the skills that you need, not just for your driving test, but all the way through life. Because you're going to go to high school, you're going to get teachers that don't really like you, or you think they don't like you. You're going to get university professors that may or may not like you, or college professors that may or may not like you, and they're just going to I had a college professor when I was in university, and it was didn't matter what I did. 75. I got 75% on every assignment, but I was just yeah, I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to get, I'm going to try and do better. I never did do better because it was English, and English wasn't my thing, but you're going to have those people in life who are the gatekeepers. They're the ones assigning you marks. And it's not up to them whether you pass or fail. It's up to you. And you are the one that needs to focus. So, if you're saying that the driving examiner caused you to fail, probably not. Nine times out of 10, probably not. Thrive, I watched many of your videos and you helped me pass on my first try. Shoulder checking is critical. Thank you, Thrive, for saying that. Thank you, because I cannot underscore, emphasize, put in hypothesis enough. Shoulder checking is critical. And congratulations on passing your driver's test. That's awesome. I'm so happy that we could help out, and thanks for dropping back and letting us know. Brandon, there's so much going on while I'm driving that I barely notice the person in the passenger seat. And Brandon, that's awesome, because what that means is that you are in the zone. You are doing what you need to do when you're driving. Awesome. Dylan, I had my permit about 4 months. How do you know when you're ready to take the driver's test? Dylan, the way that you know is book a practice driving test with a local driving instructor. Go out for about an hour, get them to take you on the test route, and they will give you feedback about your skills and abilities in preparation for the driver's test. As well, they'll give you feedback about any skills that you need to strengthen for the purposes of the driver's test. So that's what I would really suggest. It's excellent money invested, and the return on investment is incredible. Okay? The other piece about going out for a practice driving test with a local driving instructor, they can point out the details of a specific test center and what you need to be looking out for. I mean, look at the videos with Sam and I there in New York City. There's a couple of things. There's one, the stop line is half a block back from the intersection. You wouldn't know that unless you went out with a driving instructor. Blessed, I have my license, but still not a pro at it. It's funny because there's a lot of drivers that do have their license, but still cannot drive or even park well. Blessed, you're absolutely correct. It's like the goofy truck driver. Watch the short. bulldozing truck driver. Just like turns out onto the highway, doesn't even give way to traffic on the highway. And I just think that is so dangerous. That's no different than blowing a stop sign in my mind. Steven, I was in Mexico a few years ago, and they drive just like that here in Las Vegas. Changing lanes, no signal or one or two. Not stopping at stop signs, coming out of neighborhoods, speeding everywhere. Yeah, Steven, that's just social driving. That's what we're dealing with as drivers, and our job is to develop habits and skills that are going to keep us safe. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but definitely, you know, throughout our driving career and in 5 years or those types of things and whatnot. Epic, watching your short videos because they are useful for cars and bikes, which include motorcycles and bicycles, since they need hand signals to communicate to other drivers, also stopping positions. Definitely. Thank you so much, Epic. Steez, thanks to your videos, I'm able to drive by myself, and I only used driving with someone else because they were my second pair of eyes. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, and happy that we can help out. Last of the Black Friday sale tonight, 30% off. Use the coupon SMART30 over at the Smart Drive Test website. Pass your driver's test first time course package. Guaranteed that you pass your driver's test first time as well. We throw in the defensive and winter driving smart courses as a bonus. Pick that up for about $38, and with the coupon, it's only about $27 with the Smart 30 coupon. So head over to the Smart Drive Test website and check that out. And of course, it's winter driving, and some of you are having your first year in the snow and ice, so you get that winter driving course thrown in as a bonus. So check that over at the Smart Drive Test. Big Mac Sam, there's my friend. There is my friend. And Mountain Biker, thank you so much for the super chat. That is absolutely greatly appreciated, my friend. Thank you, thank you. And if you have any questions about passing your driver's test here in Vernon, let us know. We'll definitely help you out. Sam, did you see the video I put up this week on tips and strategies for passing your driver's test? That was us there in New York, the two of us, giving you tips and strategies. Lots of good information, lots of life hacks to be able to pass your driver's test first time in the city of New York. Not just New York City, but also any other big city. That will definitely help you out. Joshua, I passed my maneuverability test but failed the road test. Okay, you just need to watch some of the videos here. Joshua, you've asked me that question several times, okay? You need to do all the other things for doing your on-road test. You don't have to do the maneuverability test again if you pass that. Mountain Biker, yes, you have to back up when you're reversing. You have to activate your signals. Yes, you do. Okay, awesome. Steve, okay, we already answered that one. Brilliant, brilliant. Sam, great video. Brilliant. AB, is there anywhere to get the MTO to update the air brake test? I went from DZ to AZ in February. I still have never seen a blue dash button in a tractor. And AB, it's unlikely that you ever will. In all the years I've been around trucking, I only ever saw one tractor with a blue button in it. Never saw any other ones. That was the only one. So, to air brake test, they have upgraded the air brake tests in the province of Ontario, AB. They've made them so you can get a single unit, so just a dump truck or an RV unit or a school bus, and then you can add on the tractor trailer piece as well. So they have done that in the province of Ontario. Blessed, I saw the short video. That is so dangerous. Driving on a freeway, I still have a hard time with that one. One day I have to face my fears on that. Do you have freeways in Hawaii? I'm sure they do, but I'm sure they're really short, aren't they? I don't know. I haven't been to Hawaii, so I don't know yet. Is an SUV a good choice of vehicle for a new driver? It is. It can be. No name for sure. You know, for a new vehicle, I might suggest maybe a mid-size sedan, like a car or whatnot. But, you know, an SUV will definitely work for you, especially here in Vernon, right? So, yeah, it'll work for you. And there's a video here on how to drive an SUV or a larger vehicle. And Corey will put that up for you as well, and that'll help you out. I don't know what vehicle that you're going for, what vehicle you're taking for your driver's test, but there's also a video here on how to parallel park a larger vehicle, and I show you how to do that with a big 2500 pickup truck, and that'll help you out as well. All right, so if there's any more questions, launch your question in there because we're getting near the end here, and I don't want to run out. I want to make sure I answer everybody's question for you. Brandon, I was wondering when you should turn on your signal coming out of a roundabout. There are a bunch where I live, and I use my signal, but only flashes like 2 times, so I'm not sure how helpful it is. Brandon, you know, you're kind of, so say for example that you're going to go straight through. You're going to go past the 2. You're going to come into the roundabout. There's going to be an exit, and then there's going to be the traffic coming in. If you can turn your signal on kind of halfway at that midpoint between those 2 roads, as you're going to go straight through the roundabout, that's probably about the best that you can do in a roundabout. You know, if you get 2 flashes or maybe 3 flashes, that's probably the best you're going to get in a roundabout when you're exiting. You know, it's signal if practicable, which means if you can. So if you're getting 2 flashes, you're probably doing the best you can with signaling to exit the roundabout, which is all you can do. All right. What else do I need to tell you? Just revisit the shorts. I'm doing a video short every day at 9 a.m. I'm releasing it on YouTube. As I said, I'm also putting it up on Facebook. I also have a TikTok account. And when I said this a few weeks ago, when I told people I was starting on TikTok, they're like, "Oh, TikTok's so goofy." And, you know, some of the stuff that I see on TikTok as I'm on there and it kind of comes up, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty goofy. That's pretty goofy. Jay, passed my written test from watching your videos. Thanks for all the helpful info. I'll be watching more to pass the driven soon. Thanks. That's awesome. Congratulations, Jay, on passing your learner's test. Mountain biker, this might be a very silly question. Can you do a road test in a tractor that is road legal and to do everything that vehicles can do? Mountain biker, I would not do that with a tractor that's road legal. Because you'll show up and the driving examiners will be going, what? Huh? And then they'll be running around to see whether it's safe or not. And then by the time they figure out that whether you can actually take a tractor on your driver's test, they're going to say, no, or it's too late, or they're going to postpone it or whatnot before they figure that out. Because you got to realize it's ICBC and you have to do something predictable. So no, I wouldn't suggest you do that. Healer, hi Rick, I watched your videos and have held my license over a year now, and a deer bolted out in front of me at night. Yeah, it cost $7,000. Hitting a deer is scary stuff. Any tips to help future? Healer, I've had experiences hitting deer in a tractor trailer. I've also hit kangaroos when I was in Australia. There's not a lot you can do. When it comes right down to it, there is not a lot you can do. You can pay attention. You know, I've had lots of experiences with driving down the road, and there's animals along the side of the roadway, and of course there's the animal crossing signs and whatnot. But in reality, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. If you are at speed and, you know, you're cruising along the highway and they step out in front of you, in my experience, there is not a lot that you can do. You could try to get those deer whistles and attach those to the front of your vehicle. I do know people who have used those, but I don't know how effective they are. You know, of course, the other thing, scanning pattern, observation, all those kinds of things. And the last piece is if it is imminent that you're going to hit an animal along the roadway, you want to try and release the brakes on the vehicle, because you don't want the front of the vehicle going down, because when you strike the animal, it's going to come over the hood and come through the windshield, which can, you know, endanger your life. So you want to be off the brakes and just try and hit them on an angle, do the best you can, and those types of things. But as long as you're okay and there's only property damage, there's only damage to your vehicle, then that's good news. You came out of it, you know, did what you needed to do, okay? Cars can be fixed, we can't, right? As one of the smart drivers said today, I'd never seen a car in the hospital. So, kind of funny. I don't know whether they work or not. Healer, they might not. Mallory, where do I film my live streams from? In my studio at home. I have a studio here, and that's where I film my live streams from. So I basically just have a bunch of maps and stuff. This is actually the wall in my studio here behind me. Have a blessed week. You as well, blessed. All right. We are at the top of the hour. Awesome. Dylan, after you pass your road test, is that when I start driving alone by myself? Thanks for all the content and answers. Yes, it is, Dylan. That's when you start driving by yourself after you get your driver's license. And Crystal, you also have to yield in roundabouts. Yes, you do. You have to give way to traffic in the roundabout. Blessed, yes, we do. I never did drive over 40 miles an hour, so that is fast for me. That's awesome. Brick said, I passed my road test now thanks to your videos and also DGN driving school, though not as applicable as someone. Have you seen this channel? I haven't seen that channel yet. I'll have to have a look and definitely check that out. Congratulations on passing your driver's test. All right, somebody wants to come and say hi. Healer, you're most welcome.
Hello.
You going to say hi?
I said hi.
You introduce yourself?
I'm Scout.
With much shorter hair than usual.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I just said I stated a fact.
Look who has shorter hair than me.
Now I have shorter hair than everybody.
Yeah.
Well, except Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson has no hair at all.
No, he doesn't. He shaved his head.
It's like the smooth part right here.
No? You're going to stand over there? Okay.
Fine with me.
All right. So, congratulations to everybody who's passed their driver's test in the last week or so. Good luck to all of you who have a driver's test coming up in the next week or whatnot. Abigail, watching from Texas. Texas is an awesome state. Welcome to the live stream, and we will talk to you soon. Are you going to come in or no? You're going to show people your hair?
It's horrid hair that either looks
like
a bomb
Be nice.
or that looks like a rat nest.
Okay.
Well, my hair is beautiful because I just
no.
cut it and donated to cancer.
Okay, that's what you did. You didn't tell them that. What did you do with your hair?
I cut my hair and donated to cancer.
Yes. So, Kids for Cancer, is that what it's called?
Wigs for kids.
Pardon?
Wigs for kids.
Wigs for kids. Kids that have chemotherapy treatment and need a wig. So you donated your hair. So that's what happened. And you did that on your birthday, right?
No, on...
Near your birthday.
The day before my birthday.
Yeah, there you go. So,
no, or it was, 2 days before my birthday. Something around my birthday.
Okay. And he's actually a boy. He's going for the cool soccer look for his hair. Okay. Okay, Scout.
I'm trying to sit up.
Yeah, you're pulling on my chair. Okay.
He made
Everybody,
me laugh.
we're going to say bye.
Bye.
Okay, Bear, stop. Stop.
Don't lose your hair like this, man.
Okay. Thanks so much. Have a great night. And remember, pick the best answer.
Oh, my toe.
Not
It's
necessarily
got
the
my
right
toe
answer.
on.
Bye now.
You have books on the ground. What am I supposed to do? Ow, bye. Bye. What? I stubbed my toe in the book.